we call it scorekeeping. So, well, you never tell me you love me. Well, you haven't told me you love me since we got married. Well, why should I tell you that? I'll let you know when I stop.
So jealousy is often talked about as the ugly green monster, but can it ever be good in a relationship?
I think it's excellent to have when jealousy shows up, to have it be code for that there's something looking to get shook loose or an upgrade looking to happen. That we get really fearful of it, or it's a sign that something's really wrong, but actually it's code for there's an opportunity on the other side. It's not easy, but I think if we can lean in to the jealousy, what's behind it, because jealousy is never one emotion, it's a cocktail of emotions and circumstances. And can we lean in and get really curious what's going on for our partner, what's going on for ourselves? There's always gold in there, and always something that'll take you to the next level of extraordinary in your relating.
I totally agree. It's like you go toward those triggers and those feelings, and they're really showing you where something's out of balance. And so the jealousy, like you said, opening up to it, I mean, it's like you go in there and it's not even about the other person. Eventually you can go inside and get into that feeling and have a dialogue with the feeling that you're having and get into your body. I mean, you don't need anyone to heal you. You just go in and say, where do I feel this jealousy in my body? What's going on? And have an inner dialogue. You could really find some great wisdom in it. And you'll maybe find there's a piece that you're not communicating to your partner, or a piece that you're not taking care of for yourself. And it could really just, any kind of upset is always that opportunity for the next level in your growth and awareness. And knowing more is always better.
Yeah, and if we look at the cultural piece in this, right, the jealousy is seen differently in different cultures. I was reading about Captain Cook when he went to the Hawaiian Islands. He was saying that there the elders would actually convey to the marrying couple not to be jealous of each other because they were going to share their lives with other people in the tribe. It was almost like they married all the men in the tribe and all the women in the tribe, and it was a communal experience. And so jealousy was a big no-no in their culture. Whereas in our culture, this idea, of course, of a couple and exclusively relating to each other, then jealousy there, of course, is this competition, that somebody else is coming in to compete for my partner, and I have to defend that territory almost. It's very different.
Yeah, I agree. So the threat of not being unique to your partner. One thing that I do with couples is I have them share with each other when there's jealousy after infidelity or in their relationship. One story I make up about this is, and what this means to me. The story I make up about what this means about me is, and the story I make up about what this means about you is, and the story I make up about what this means about us. And both people always have different stories, because the story we assign to something we're jealous about, usually has meaning about us, that goes way back or has to do with our own trust about our intuition. And that, starts as dialogue. I think that can be really valuable.
What do you do in relationships where jealousy or envy inspire competition? The couple, the high power couple that's just like one-upping each other all the time.
It's so much more common than people think. And we call it scorekeeping. So, well, you never tell me you love me. Well, you haven't told me you love me since we got married. Well, why should I tell you that? I'll let you know when I stop. There's this common thing that couples do. That's a competitive couple. We don't think of them as competitive because they're not running out to get a nicer car, But a lot of couples are competitive in ways that don't necessarily show up in my office or perhaps in your friend's kitchen. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think it can be used, if people could channel their powers for good, they could compete in ways that show love. Well, I left you flowers. Well, I left you a card. Well,
you should get my note under your pillow.
Right, exactly.
That's a nice twist on that.
I think recognizing that we do compete with each other is the first piece.
Jealousy, it sounds like, can be an okay thing in relationships if people choose to look at it as a sign of some deeper work they have to do. And it sounds like the competitive marriage is one where people really need to take an accounting of their scorekeeping and hopefully, get back on an even playing ground so they're not being so nasty to each other.
Mm-hmm.